For my Thanksgaming piece, I'll be covering a series very dear to me, Inazuma 11. The series may have only been with me since 2010, but I surprised myself by thinking about how much I've been through with it. To set the tone, the very day I got the game for £20 in Morrison's, I went to see my granddad in hospital. Funny considering one of the main aspects of the game's story. Of course, Grandad was fine after a day or two, but it still left an image in my mind sitting there reading the instruction book, unable to play the game while also hoping for his recovery. Back when I first played it, I thought of being a Let's Player as some kind of distant dream, one that would never be possible, so I instead pretended to do a blind Let's Play of the game, providing my first thoughts through commentary to myself, and only myself. I got to make up voices for everybody, never thinking they'd actually come to light. Now it's gonna be my 6th LP after Paper Mario. Even back then I'd pretend I were a player from Inazuma 11 back on the football pitch at school. But the first game was only the beginning. What really resonated with me was that the rest of the series was beside me for my entire time at college. I went to York College, and within about 3 weeks of studying there, I walked into the city centre and bought Inazuma 11 2 Blizzard, after my friend proved to me that the distance really could be walked. That friend dropped out of the course not too long after, so I had to provide my own company for quite a while, which I did by playing my new Inazuma 11 game. The whole way through, I was just left thinking, why did I wait for a price drop before buying this game? It's brilliant! So many break times were spent on that game, and I can certainly admit I'd be late to class sometimes just because I was too busy on the game. As time passed, Inazuma 11 3 was released, which I ordered from Amazon. The first few days were quite painful in that regard, because the game was sitting there at home while I was far away in London, staring the game blank in the face at the game shop in Eurogamer, knowing I couldn't buy it. But of course I still had the time of my life in that place. I came back to my new house, started the game, played lots of it at college again, then moved to a new flat and beat it there. With the whole series completed, I went back and bought the other version of Inazuma 11 2, subtitled Firestorm. Now I thought I'd spent a long time on the first 3 games, but I shocked even myself when I poured over 84 hours into this one. Playing the game on the college bus, I found all sorts of new things I could do, to the point where I tripled the amount of time I spent on the first version of it. If ever I would play it at college itself, it would be to laugh at the in-game bios of all the players with my new best friend. I started watching the anime while I did this, and I won't deny that a few hours of lesson time was spent simply watching it on the laptop. Somehow I managed to watch all 126 episodes and then rewatch the last half of them in the space of a year. I know I couldn't do that anymore. Another version of Inazuma 11 3 was released, and I spent over 106 hours on this one. This was the first time I actually managed to beat the final boss and roll the credits at college itself. I still continued to laugh at the player bios, although this time my best friend was now my girlfriend. College was ending now, but the game still managed to pull one last trick before I left. Once I'd beaten the game, it completely surprised me when it handed me a demo of the successor, Inazuma 11 Go, confirming it for a European release at the same time. Being able to play a small part of the next generation of Inazuma before leaving college meant a lot to me. Inazuma 11 still continued to mean a lot to me even after college ended. I went to New York and met Lord Jekyll himself there, and I bought an American 2DS just to try out the US release of the first game. I tried to get all my online friends into the series, and some of them found the games just as enjoyable as I think they are. Inazuma 11 Go was released, and I still remember playing it at my dad's house just a few weeks before he died. I even got to cosplay as Sean Frost at EGX 2014. I quite like Inazuma 11.